Welcome back to our festive journey of Christmas junk journal ideas. I hope you've been enjoying the creative inspiration I've shared so far. Today is day 3 of our 10-day series, and everything we're making can be made in a day. If you missed our first 2 videos, be sure to check them out. They're filled with ideas to make your Christmas journal truly unique. Now for day 3, get ready to add a touch of nostalgia. We'll be making these replica shiny bright Christmas tree ornament boxes. I've made the box into a printable for you. Now without further ado, let's unwrap the inspiration for day 3 of our Christmas junk journal extravaganza. Now to make your shiny bright box, you'll need to go to my website and download the 2-page print. You've got the top and the bottom. You get a really nice colour if you print this out on a matte paper, like a matte presentation paper or a photograph paper. So this is what it looks like in the matte. And this one here is what it looks like if you print it out on plain cardboard. And this is a 200 GSM and the matte paper is 180 GSM. If you don't compare the two, they still look pretty good. So once you've printed it out, just cut out your top of the box and the bottom pieces. I'm going to use a scoreboard to fold my edges because it just gives a much better shaped box. So when you score the top, you'll see a very faint line between the tab and the side of the box here. So just place that on your scoreboard. So line that faint line up with one of the lines in your scoreboard, and you want to have it so that you're scoring toward the outside of that line. So you want the top of the box to be a little bit bigger than the bottom. So you just score all the way down through that tab, the side, and through that tab. Turn it around, do the same again. Have it so that your score line is going to follow through to the outside of that line. Then turn it around again. This one's a bit easier and you'll see what I mean here. I'll come in real close so you see what I mean. So you can see the ridge here in the scoreboard is on the outside of this line. If I move it over, you'll see it's in the middle. If I move it even more, you'll see it'll be on the inside of this line. So I want to make sure that I'm scoring more to the outside of this line. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same again. Okay, so make sure they've got a nice crisp fold all the way to the center. So just put your lid aside. Now with the bottom, what I want you to do this time is the opposite. See this very faint line here on the bottom of the box? This time I want you to put that line on that ridge of the scoreboard, and this time I want you to score more to the inside of the line, not the outside. So I'm going to score, I'm going to level that there on the board all the way through to the other end of this tab here. So you can see now that score line is on the inside of there. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same again. Scoring. And it's really very slightly, don't go overboard with that. Don't do it like 1/8 of an inch away or anything. Very slightly. And then do the same here. Line that up so that you're scoring off this marker here, and do the same on the opposite end. The reason we're doing that is we want the bottom to be a tiny bit smaller than the lid. I'm going to turn it over and I'm just going to fold in all of those score marks to the inside. This is 180 GSM because I'm using the matte paper. If you're using 200 GSM, just like a cardstock, you might want to use your bone folder and crease them down a little bit more. Just do whatever's needed. Right, now we're going to use some Distress ink and get some more age on these boxes. Now to distress them, I'm just going to start with the lid. I'm using Vintage Photo and I'm going to fold that down there just so I can get into the white edge. And I'm just going to do very roughly around those edges. Fold that down and get in there. If you want to do this piece here while it's a flat box, it's always a good idea to do that. And just go, you don't need to do those flaps there, they're going to get glued down. You can do that one. And that just gives it some more age. They look great made up. These two pieces now are using the box the same colour. If you want the bottom of your box to have the white showing on the outside, you could just turn it over and you could have scored the lines that way and folded it that way. So then you would have had a box that's white on the bottom and coloured on the top. So now we're just going to glue these flaps down. You've got to make sure you glue the right side of these little tabs, and to do that I like to turn the box over and put them the way you're going to glue them in. So I just fold that towards the inside. I'm using the Bearly Art Glue. It's an industrial strength glue. You don't need that much and it holds the box closed really well. Line them up and pinch them together. Line that one up, pinch them together. If you glue this down too far that way or too short that way, like there or there, that will change the size of your box. So make sure they're really level on the edges here. I'll just go ahead and glue the lid closed. Right, that's our lid done and our bottom done. Now before I put the lid on, I'll just show you that they're a really tight fit. So I'm going to put the bottom on like this, and then I'm just going to pull that corner in there and pull that corner in there. Right. They are a tight fit, but that makes the box stay in shape. And that's done. So that's got a nice clean bottom with no distressing on the edges. But if you wanted to distress the edges while it's already finished, just go ahead and add some distress to that edge. Now if you want to put a window in this box, you can. You can use the tree for a window. Just cut out your tree and you can use it in your journal somewhere once you've cut it out. Then get a piece of transparency or some recycled packaging. Make sure you cut it a bit wider than your tree but smaller than the inside of your lid and just glue it in. And that's it. And because it's a shiny bright box, I thought I'd go ahead and add some gold ink to the edges of this one. And once you put some goodies inside this window box, it looks amazing. I loved making this box. I just love making something new. If you tie them in a little stack like this, you could just sit them by the tree or on your mantelpiece. It doesn't matter what you do with them. I like the fact that you can actually use them. Just another tip, you could also print the printable out a little bit smaller, print it out at 75%, and you'll be able to make a smaller box. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow. On day 4, I'm going to show you how to do some embossing without the traditional embossing press. See you tomorrow.